Hello, and welcome to Temple Baptist Church here in Poplar, Bluff, Missouri. We're going to be in the book of Exodus today, chapter 17. And again, a lot of these things out of the Old Testament, for those of us that have been in God's family for a good many years, have read all of these accounts, read all these stories and accounts. They're not stories, they're real life things that happen. In fact, Israel was rapidly developing a reputation of complaining. They had grumbled about water too bitter to drink. They'd complained about the lack of food, and now in this, where we're at in Exodus chapter 17, they're quarreling with Moses about the lack of drinking water, and Moses just cried out to the Lord, the Lord God. And God consulted Moses, tells him what to do. Take that staff that you've got and strike it. And, this is the same staff that Moses had used to open the Red Sea. And, he just reminding God's people of what he has done in the past. And this time, Moses struck the rock, producing water for the people. And, and I think the cure for grumbling, if we begin to grumble and complain, is to recall God's history, the faithfulness of God. In verse 6, we'll stand there before you by the rock of Hebron, strike the rock, and water will come out of it for the people to drink. There's a story about Australia, and that is a very extreme droughted area. The horrifying year when only just a small amount of rainfire come, and it turned the bushes into tinder. Raging fires just controlled the countryside, and fish died. Even crops failed, all because they didn't have a simple resource that we often take for granted. No, we're going to turn the tap on and we can get water at any time, or most of us anymore open a bottle of water and do that. But and which we all need to live. No, we need a certain amount of water, and so Israel has found itself in a very terrifying dilemma. They're out here in the desert, out there in the wilderness, and there's no water for the people to drink. And so the people were afraid. Their throat was dry. The sand sizzled around them, and they were just suffering. And the people quarreled with Moses, demanding water. Like I said, they become a people of complaining. But what could Moses do? The only thing he could do was go to God, wasn't it? God was the one that was in control of that, and God gives Moses all the instructions. He strikes the rocks, and the river, the water rushes out there. Then for the people and the cattle, and knew that. And Israel that day, again, Israel knew that their God loved them. God provided the abundant water that they needed. And, we may be experiencing droughts in our spiritual life, of a wilderness in life, but just know this, God is aware of it, isn't he? God is aware of it. He's with us. Whatever we need, now that's the key point there, whatever we need, whatever we lack, we'll find hope and refreshment in the abundant water of Jesus Christ. We'll talk later in our devotional times about the water that Jesus offered that Samaritan woman, and it's just an amazing amount of spiritual water that we have through God, an abundant water, abundant life that we have. We invite you to our services here at Temple. Sunday mornings we meet for worship at 8 o'clock. Then we have Sunday school at 9, worship again at 10. And then that night, Sunday night, we meet at 6 o'clock. And Wednesday nights we meet at 7. You would be welcome to any and all of those services. May God bless you is our prayer.